Welcome to another edition of the Coach Alexander Show. I'm Kim Assad, Mustang mom, and your local real estate broker with Compass Real Estate. Enjoy the show. Go Mustangs!
Hello, Mustang Nation. Matt Carnes, Grapevine Booster here for Week 7 of the Coach Mike Alexander Show, Team 100 season. And Coach, we're rolling right along. I can't believe we're already to the rivalry week coming up, but you came off a big one this week. You're now 5-2 overall, 3-1 in district. Tell us about the previous football week.
Yeah, it was a good week for us. Once again, our program swept, and so that's 2 weeks in a row. It's always good, like I said, to go to bed on Thursday night knowing that all your teams won and played well, and that's what we were able to accomplish again this week. Well,
and you put in your email this week that the program overall is 28-8, so you got to be really happy about that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close to where we were at this time last year. We don't have any of our teams right now. None of our teams have more than 2 losses, so it's we're playing pretty good. We're getting better, and that's the whole goal of sub-varsity nights is you're in preparation for it's a dress rehearsal for the big show of what's to come on varsity night. But I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of our coaches. I like to brag on our coaches for a minute because I really believe that on Thursday night, our parents get to see, and it's not perfect, but I do think they get to see that our kids are coached as well or better than our competition most weeks.
I would agree with that.
And that's not easy to do when you have 200 plus kids in your program to pay attention to the JV. But our JV kids get a lot of playing time during practice. They get a lot of reps. They do have a 30-minute window that they're going to scout. But they have an hour and a half to prepare for their stuff usually. So it's a good setup, and we're enjoying some benefits of it right now.
Well, you start the day Friday morning with Breakfast of Champions. Had a special guest this week. Dr. Ryan came in and talked about resilience. Tell us about how that message that he brought plays into this Mustang team.
Well, it's interesting. That was the first time we've had Dr. Ryan in the field house, at Breakfast with Champions. And so his message of, resiliency it was spot on because we have a resilient team. We have a team that's, a lot of these guys, it's their first time to be varsity starters and they're seniors, so they've had to be resilient. We have quite a few seniors on our team that were, juniors on the JV last year and experienced all that of, working their tail off to get into that varsity locker room. And so here we are, and it's rivalry week. And, and so the message that Dr. Ryan gave us, I think it's huge for the game of football, and it's huge for life moving forward.
Well, and he spoke about resilience. He had a family story, but if anybody knows resilience, Dr. Ryan knows it, as we've seen him go through some things in his past. So thanks for coming out, Dr. Ryan. If you're not there for Breakfast of Champions, men, you need to get there. But let's move ahead. Friday night, had a big win. Tell us about the ball game Friday night.
I think it started off well. We came out. We were motivated to play well. Our kids started out very similarly to the Denton game. Offensively, we're moving the ball, bam, 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 and then defensively, going out and playing well for the first several series. The one thing that I wasn't real pleased with, and we keep hammering it with our team, is just finishing people off when you kind of get them on the ropes. We had Denton on the ropes. We had Newman Smith on the ropes, and there wasn't ever a doubt if we were going to win those games, I don't think. But when you get them, when you get those teams to 21-7 or 21-0, it's time to put your foot on the accelerator and finish. And we didn't really do that. We found ways to not convert offensively and to give up a big play or two defensively. So if we could start cleaning that stuff up, we'll need to be able to compete with the better teams on the schedule. So that was the only thing negative I think about the game. But other than that, we had some guys step up, make some really big plays, and we had a lot of guys that haven't got to play a lot get in there and play really well in the second half.
Well, and it was good to see some of those other guys get out there, but You know, you did have that spot in the first half where they almost allowed Newman Smith to get back in the game. You're up 21-7. You get a big stop with about 2 minutes to go, and took it 90 yards to put the game 3 touchdowns ahead at halftime.
Right.
So that was really good to see. And then, of course, quickly in the second half, you come out and scored again.
Absolutely, and you know, we'll see it on the highlights, but I think we started the third quarter really well. Just where we picked up and left in the second quarter, and I went in at halftime, and there wasn't our guys were not satisfied at halftime, especially defensively. They were very, very frustrated with themselves for allowing Newman to go down there and almost, you know, make it 21-14. So they weren't satisfied, so they came out and, you know, had something to prove in the second half.
Well, that's good. Well, speaking of the highlights, let's take a look at them and see what we got going here.
All right, this is first series of the game. I think this might be the first first offensive snap of the game, and this is just Austin finding Jacob Edwards on a little glance. He's getting man coverage, wins inside, and you know, Jake's a good receiver and knows how to get open versus man. So that was a good job getting it started, and then come back later in the half or later in the drive. You know, Austin kind of takes a little too long to get back to his third read right here, but Jacob, as you can tell, goes up, makes a really nice catch over the top of 2 guys, and you know, 6-0 Mustangs, good way to start. Okay, defense comes out, playing fast, physical. We're flying around. Like I said, we had a new guy in the lineup, and Aiden Cassidy, a sophomore, nose tackle. So, you know, he got in there and did some good things for us. But the guys were really flying around early. Got the ball back to the offense quick after a 3-and-out, and Elliott Hansen punches it in 14-0, just like that. Mustangs are up. And this is where, you know, I'd say, Matt, that I was talking to our team about. This is where, you know, when it's 14-0, you got to go up and go, you know, stretch it to 21 and get that 3-score lead as soon as you can. But we kind of stall out on our third possession here, and then we get in our punt formation and decide we got a little out route there. We didn't feel like they had covered well enough, and sure enough, Griff gets it and moves the chains. This is going to be late in the first quarter. Tejada going in for the score. He ran really well. He ran the ball really well the other night, and ran with a lot of power, and didn't usually get tackled by the first guy. And then this is, you know, this is the drive where we kind of let Newman back into it, but there were some good plays along the way. There's our 2 inside linebackers fitting down, doing a good job being patient. D lineman eating up a lot of blocks and freeing those guys up. Later on in the second quarter, more defensive highlights. This is Mason Shimkus. Want to highlight Mason right here, number 8, doing a great job of stringing out the option, taking quarterback in pitch essentially, and then everybody else getting to backside pursuit and get to the quarterback. All right, so at this point in the game, Matt, this is the first play of the last series, I believe, and I think it's 21-7 right here. I think there's about 2 minutes left before the half, and we get Tejada on a big run. Then we come back and we find Ben Gare in the middle of the field. That was the chunk play we were looking forward to getting the field. You know, I was just trying to get in field goal range. We have Braxton Russell back. You see Braxton over on the sideline warming up, and I was
ready.
He's ready, you know. And I was just really hoping to get Braxton into the mix, and you know, I'm thinking go in 24/7, and but first Team O had some other things in mind. This is a fantastic block by Raider Conley, and Chris Ruiz getting out on the screen. Raider does a good job by getting his head in the front of that guy right there on the 40-yard line, freeing up Caleb, and Caleb knows how to do the rest on his own.
And the downfield block there by the receiver to,
you got Jake,
to seal it.
I think it's Jake Cunningham, right there,
Jake.
doing a great job. Unselfish guys, playing for each other. And then the opening kickoff start the third quarter. It's something that I kind of sprung on JD at halftime and kind of worked out. We ended up doing it several times. Give him a little squib kick to the left. That's pretty much the only kick we haven't done this year. And he executed it perfectly, like 2 or 3 times. So really proud of JD for being able to make an adjustment on the fly right there. And then we get a stop on defense. Take the one, bring the one offense out for the first series of the third quarter. We punched in. Now it's 35-7, and that's where we want to be. So now everybody gets to play at this point. So now we're going to start rolling in a lot of our twos that haven't got as many reps as we wish they would have at this point in the year, and then Elijah's big kickoff return in the third quarter. There's a lot of good blocking, everybody doing their job, getting on their man, and then like I tell these back guys that catch these kicks, I tell them, I said, no, front line job is just to get in the way, create a crease, and then if you need to know what to do after that, I got the wrong person back there catching the kick, and so we have the right people back there. Elijah does a good job finding a crease, and he's been close to breaking one of these for a while.
It has been coming for a few weeks now.
And so there we go, broke one open right there. Now, we've got our two offense in the game, and we have Nick McWilliams coming off the edge, running a little outside zone. It's good to see Nick running the ball well. This might be one of my favorite, maybe my favorite play of the night. We've been waiting on this. We moved Jake Cunningham over to receiver back during the open date, and he's been doing this to people in practice, recently, and so we wanted to give him a chance, and he goes up and takes the ball from the defender, and great job giving him a chance by the quarterback, Derek Engel, and Jake did the rest. Just really proud of those two kids. More Derek Engel. Late in this is going to be in the fourth quarter. Finds Garrett Wright over the middle. Big gain down to the 2, and then Derek Engel gets to run some quarterback power right here and run it on in. Big time touchdown for Derek. Really proud that he got to get in there and do that. And so that was it. That's a 162 play summary and about 20 plays right there, man.
Well, the final was 55-17, so it was good to see a big win.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the DNA guys. Talk about the guys who got their DNA this week.
Love to. Our attitude was Raider Conley. Raider gets our attitude award this week. Raider's one of those guys that has just he's the steady force in the middle for our offensive line. And he's one that brings the energy, and he did a great job of leading the other night, and we gave him the Attitude Award. All right, Attitude. Then our Compete Award went to Caleb Tejada. Caleb, running backs this time of year, they start getting a little nicked and bruised and banged up a little bit, but Caleb's a tough guy, and he just goes out every day and competes as well as he can, and we felt like that he deserved that award this week. Our Tough Award went to the new guy, Aiden Cassidy, sophomore. He moved up to play nose guard, and Aiden, I don't know that he knew what to expect, but all he did was go in there and just play his butt off, and we're pretty proud of the job that he did. And then our family player was Mateo Vecchi. Mateo is a senior linebacker for us, got to play in the game the other night, and Mateo, he got in for a couple series and made his presence known immediately. He's one of those kids that does right all the time and cares about his teammates. And as soon as he got on the field, he made 2 big tackles and wanted to reward Mateo for his constant team first mentality that he has. And then Discipline Award went to Chris Ruiz, plays next to Raider. Those 2 guys working together, they're getting to be a really good tandem. Man, we're hoping they play well this Friday night. If they do, we got a good chance. And so he was our Discipline Award. And then our fight went to Jake Cunningham. Jake, like I said, after we moved him from defense to offense, He's been battling. He's been working to learn the playbook and to get comfortable playing the receiver position, and he never quit fighting for it. And he went up and got that ball and got rewarded, and we're sure proud of Jake.
Well, and it looks like a lot of things are gelling. You said a couple of weeks ago that keep working on these things. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be a much better football team, and that's certainly panning out to be the truth. But now we move on. This week, it's rivalry week. Heritage. I don't know what all we need to say about that. It's,
they're a good football team, Matt. They're well coached. They're playing really, really inspired football right now. They have 3 losses on their records to really good football teams, and so we got a big challenge ahead of us. But this is the one game where you really don't have to worry about your players not being focused. And, believe it or not, we had the best practice of the year this morning.
they're
of course,
going to be ready.
because they just it's like, you can just feel the difference out of practice. Their eyes are more locked in. Everything's just crisper and cleaner. So it's exciting for a coach. That's why you coaching big games like this.
Well, and it's going to be a big one. So if you're planning on coming to the game, we will be on the home side. It will be a big crowd. Plan on getting there early, and that'll be 7 o'clock. In the meantime, Thursday night, we got freshmen, blue and red at Mustang Panther, 5:30 and 7. You got the JV blue out in Azle at 5:30 and JV red at Colleyville Heritage at 5:30. So we'll be there to watch those guys. And make sure you're there Friday night. Lot on the line. Of course, this is the Red Rail game. It's also the battle for Whataburger, as we've seen over the years. That's one thing the kids have really enjoyed fighting for. So a lot on the line with this one. And they're 4-3 overall, 3-1 over in district. So they're very similar to where we are. So it's going to be a great game this week to see. So men, don't forget Breakfast of Champions, 7 o'clock Friday morning. We will see you there. 7 o'clock, Mustang Panther Stadium. Make sure you're there. We look forward to it. Thanks again to Coach Boost. And, Coach, thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Coach Alexander Show. For all your real estate needs, you can visit me at compass.com. Go Mustangs!